I ended up in a coma after I got a blood infection. Even after coming out of that coma, I still used. In fact, I used it when I was in the hospital. I literally shot up in my PICC line. So growing up in my household, I felt just very alone. I felt secluded and kind of just like an outcast. I was different from my parents, my stepdad and my mom. I was different from my siblings. I felt like I had no one to talk to. I had no one that could relate to the things that I was going through, so I just kept them to myself. I kind of created a dark little prison that I just stayed in, and that created a huge divide with me and my mom. I really don't know of a time when me and my mom were on good terms. I can't think back to my childhood and pull a good memory. And so I was really just grasping at anything the world would hand me. I met a guy, and he had been 2 years into painkillers, and I just gradually started using them. And from that moment forward, I realized that I had become addicted to something, and my whole life shifted. Opiate addiction and opiate withdrawal is one of the darkest cycles I've ever been in. I literally would sleep in the bathtub and turn water on because I would be so freezing cold. My whole body would be shaking. And then I would be so extremely hot. I would feel like I was gonna pass out. And so I would turn cold water on. That became my everyday. When my daughter was born, my life shifted. I, for once in my life, felt joy, and to actually feel like actual love. I didn't know what that was. It definitely built a contrast to my mom. My mom actually came to my house drunk one night at 3 a.m. There was an altercation that happened between the two of us. We started fighting, and the police ended up taking me to jail. And they let my mom take my daughter. When I got out of jail, I wasn't able to go see my daughter. Communication was shut off between the two of us, and I spiraled. I didn't know what to do. I was back in a dark place, and I called her dad, and we went and got heroin. And so I became an IV user quickly. I had gotten an infection in my heart from shooting up, and I was in a coma for a month and a half. I wasn't able to move. I had a breathing tube. I was on dialysis. I had blood transfusions, and I didn't have visitors. My family didn't come to see me. So I was just stuck. I was just there. I relapsed in the hospital. I actually shot up in my PICC line, which should have blown up my heart. And I continued to use there for about a month and a half. And when I got out, I called my daughter's father, and I went to his house, barely being able to walk. I could get up 6 stairs. And I went there, and I was IV using right away again, but I couldn't get high. God showed up in that moment in my darkness again, and he was just like, "Are you serious? Are you seriously gonna go back?" I just was like, okay. I didn't know what else to do but walk away from what was in front of me. When I came to Teen Challenge, the staff, they truly expressed God's love. I mean, I was that one. I was the one that was too far gone. I was the one that everyone was giving up on. And so when I was shown that I had enough worth for someone to care about me, or for someone to sit outside my door on their knees and pray for me while I was struggling, it lit something in me. And I was able to grab on to Jesus, and he was the one that pulled me out of my addiction. And that's the only thing keeping me out of addiction. I mean, I wouldn't be in recovery if it wasn't for Jesus coming after me. Since graduating from MNTC and the Teen Challenge Leadership Institute, I am now able to spend time with my daughter pretty much every single weekend. She has her own room at my new place with my husband. Zach and I met at church. We fell in love and got married October 7th of 2023. He's just so great. My recovery, my faith, my daily stuff that comes up, he always encourages me to go to God first. And now I'm a scale advisor. I'm also a PRSS, which is a peer support specialist. I'm able to relate to people. They realize that I've been through what they've been through, and that there's some hope. All I can say is that Jesus changed my life completely.